the $100 MBA Show, and today is a Q&A Weekends episode where we answer your question right here on the show. If you have a question you want to ask, just email us at contact@100mba.net, or you can send me a tweet on Twitter, @BizRepublic is my handle. As always, I'm your host, your coach, your teacher, Omar Zenhom. I'm also the co-founder of the $100 MBA, a complete business training and community online. Check out our free guide. We got a new one up there on the 12 steps to creating an online course. You can check it out at 100mba.net. Today's question comes from Jason, and Jason asks, do you memorize your public speeches or do you use slides as cues? Good question, Jason. As some of you may have noticed, I've been speaking a lot in public at conferences this year, and it's something I've been working on for some time now. I've been trying to master my craft when it comes to public speaking. So I'm going to answer this question honestly and tell you what my best advice is when it comes to making sure you nail your public speeches and make sure you sound confident, look confident, and feel confident. And a surefire way to make sure that you don't forget anything. A lot of people worry about forgetting parts of their speech, or maybe if I miss this or I don't miss this. How do I make sure that I nail my public speech? I'll get into all the details and answer Jason's question in today's Q&A Weekends episode, so let's get down to business. Today's episode of the $100 MBA Show is sponsored by Webinar Ninja Live, the first national webinar conference in sunny San Diego, California on September 26th. Learn from the masters of webinar. Know how to teach, know how to sell, know how to market your brand and your products on webinars. And you'll learn firsthand from people like New York Times bestseller Michael Port, Amy Mead, John Lee Dumas, Kate Erickson, Clay Hebert, Mario Brown, myself, Nicole, and a whole lot more. Grab your tickets for Webinar Ninja Live at webinarninja.co/live. That's webinarninja.co/live. So Jason asks, do you memorize your public speeches or do you use your slides as cues to remind yourself to go through your actual presentation? Well, this is a really tough question because I have very strong feelings about the answer to this question. Now, before I answer this question, I got to give props to our public speaking mentors, Michael Port and Amy Mead. I've been fortunate enough to take their training and be coached by them. Now, if you don't know, Michael and Amy come from a performance background. They're both former actors, and they both study acting and drama in university, so they both have master's degrees in those areas. And they come from the school of thought that public speeches really should be performances. And I firmly believe in that because you want to wow the crowd. You want to be memorable. You want people to have an experience. That's what's going to differentiate you from everybody else who's giving speeches on stage. If you're going to a conference to speak there, how are you going to be memorable in the sea of speeches that everybody's going to? You need to make sure you make a lasting impression. And having the mindset that when you're on stage that this is a performance is going to change the game. It's going to make you level up your game. Now, having said that, when you're performing anything, whether it's a dance, a piece of poetry, you're playing the double bass, whatever it is, most of the time you're not using any visual cues. You memorize it. Now, I am of the school that you should be memorizing your public speeches. You should be memorizing exactly what you're going to be delivering. Now, I don't mean word for word, but if you need reminders or cues by looking at your slides, then you haven't rehearsed enough. You don't know your public speech yet. You need more rehearsal time. Again, this is a performance. You don't see people on stage or people on the big screen reading from a teleprompter. They know their stuff inside and out because they've done it over and over, and that's what I want you to do when you're on stage. Now, when it comes to the slides, looking at your slides to remind yourself, that's a huge no-no. Whenever you look at the slides, you turn your back or you turn your attention away from the crowd, you lose your crowd. This is something I really learned very quickly. And I can tell you firsthand, whenever I use PowerPoint slides, whenever I use presentation slides with my speech, I need to rehearse the timing of it so that I'm never looking at the slides. I'm just pressing the clicker, it advances the slide as I talk, and it's seamless because I don't want to lose contact with the crowd. I want to keep eye contact. I want to stay with them. Let's say you went to a concert. Let's say you're going to a Jay-Z concert or something like that, right? And he's rapping his song, and then in the middle of the rap, he looks at the screen behind him. Oh, is this the part of the video when I bust this rhyme? It would look awkward. It would be strange. What is Jay-Z doing? Doesn't he know his own songs? So you need to know your material inside and out. And you don't have to give long presentations. You can give 20-minute presentations. And if you rehearse it in bits, in parts, you can make sure that you nail every part of it. Now again, you don't have to memorize it word for word, but you need to know what you're going to be covering. And the thing is that if you rehearse it, It's going to be like singing a song. You're going to know exactly what comes next, what comes next, what comes next, and you're even going to know what slides go along with each one. You're going to know when to click because you've gone through over and over and over. It's incredible how quickly you can build muscle memory. Now, what I'm suggesting to you, memorizing your speech and rehearsing it over and over till you feel like it's second nature, this is what the pros do. If you want to look pro on stage, if this is something that you really, really want to nail, this is what I recommend. But if this is something that you don't really feel committed to and you've been asked to speak somewhere and you just want to be able to give a good speech, maybe you feel like this is not worth the investment. And that's just a choice you're going to have to make. But for me, I do want to nail it. I want to be able to connect with people on stage so powerfully because I really believe that when you teach live, you can really connect with people on a different level. And I want to seize that opportunity. And I don't want to lose people because I'm looking at slides, because I'm trying to look at cue cards. I want to have an engaging conversation with the crowd. When you have an engaging conversation with a friend, you're with them. You're not looking at your phone trying to find answers. You know exactly what you want to say. Now, obviously, when you're on stage, the nerves kick in, and that's why you rehearse. So you make sure that you nail it and you know it like the back of your hand. Guys, I got more for today's question, but before that, I got to give love to today's sponsor, Biz Filings. Biz Filings is where you go to incorporate with step-by-step guidance from on-demand experts. If you want the job done right, you got to go to the experts. And when it comes to incorporation, that means Biz Filings. With more than 1 million incorporations under their belt, the people at Biz Filings know all the ins and outs of setting up a business for success. They'll break down the process for you, outline the fees and forms, and work closely with the state so you know exactly what to expect every step of the way. And you see, Biz Filings was founded by entrepreneurs who set out to build a kind of experience they'd want if they had to do it all over again. A straightforward site loaded with tools to help you understand your options and make the right call. With the resources at Biz Filings, there's no need to put off incorporation any longer. Get started today with a free guide at bizfilings.com/start. That's bizfilings.com/start. So to wrap up the answer to today's question from Jason, do you memorize your public speeches or do you use your slides as cues? I definitely memorize them. I make sure that they're second nature to me. And remember, you don't need to give a new public speech every single time. I have 2 or 3 set public speeches that I have, and I know like the back of my hand, and I offer those to those who want to see me on stage. It's great to have slides, and they're great visual cues, but they should be visual cues for the audience, not for you. That's my personal opinion. That's what my own experience has been like. Whenever I relied on the PowerPoint slides to remind me, I know that means I wasn't prepared. And I can feel it. I can feel that it's not landing. The speech is not landing the way I want it to be. When you rehearse over and over again, it's like singing happy birthday. You know it like the back of your hand. It feels so good. You feel so confident. You know exactly how to deliver the information. All right, guys, I hope that's helpful. I hope you enjoyed it. Guys, thank you so much for listening to the $100 MBA Show every single day. Thanks for subscribing. Make sure you tune in tomorrow because tomorrow's a must-read episode where I share with you a book that I read that has really impacted me as an entrepreneur. Tomorrow's must-read is The Ultimate Sales Machine by Chet Holmes. Can't wait to get into that. It's going to be great. But before that, I want to leave you with this. When it comes to public speeches, when it comes to webinars, when it comes to videos, or even podcasts, a lot of people say, just give me the mic, I know my stuff. I know what I'm talking about. I have a lot of experience. I can nail this. And I have no doubt that many of you know your stuff very well. You're knowledgeable. You got the content. But that's not the point. You can know something very well, but if you don't know how to deliver it properly, your information is useless. You need to make sure that your delivery, that's the point of rehearsal, that your delivery is rock solid, that you know how to actually deliver the words without thinking about it, without stuttering, with the right intonation, with the right pauses, with the right tone of voice. You need to make sure that the delivery of the information is in a way that people can comprehend, enjoy, and digest. That's where the art is. You know, the content, that's where the information is. That's where the intellect is. But the art is in the delivery. So keep that in mind the next time you're preparing for your next public speech. All right, guys, I hope that helps. I hope to see you in tomorrow's episode. I'll see you then, guys. Take care.